We're now at a point where we have to ask ourselves the question, what's the next move? The promise of referendums on the issue of reunification, where the Irish people, north and south, decide ourselves the future of our country. That commitment was made almost 30 years ago, and we simply want that commitment to be honoured. Partitioning our country more than a century ago was wrong. It was done down the barrel of British guns. Call Netanyahu's regime to account. End the impunity that Israel enjoys because they believe that they can do whatever they want. They are openly committing genocide, and the world is watching. Worse than that, the world is enabling this, and worse again, in the case of Britain, the United States, other European governments, they're actually financing and assisting Netanyahu's genocidal effort. That to me is unspeakable.
I'm just going to start with last night. You were calling for a referendum on a united Ireland. Can you tell me why now?
Well, in just over 2 years' time, we're going to mark the 30th anniversary of the Good Friday Agreement. That was the agreement where we finally brought conflict in Ireland, in the north of Ireland, to an end, and we built a whole set of agreements to move things forward and to start building the peace. And we've worked at that. It hasn't always been all plain sailing, but we've achieved really great things. But we're now at a point where we have to ask ourselves the question, what's the next move? And the promise of referendums on the issue of reunification, where the Irish people, north and south, decide ourselves the future of our country. That commitment was made almost 30 years ago, and we simply want that commitment to be honoured. And we're conscious that for referendums to be held, for us to take the next steps, we have to do a lot of preparatory work now. You can't just walk into a referendum, pose a question that has huge implications without having done the work in advance. So we want both governments, we want Keir Starmer and the Labour Party government here to actually do the right thing, to engage with the promise of the Good Friday Agreement, to be as good as their word, and to start making the preparation for those referendums, working with the government in Dublin. We're just at this stage saying to both governments, you have made these commitments, so now honour the commitment.
Do you think that Labour are the government to honour that commitment? I mean, if you look at the sort of promises that are being made by Keir Starmer, we're potentially having a referendum on whether we even want to stay in the ECHR. That's not exactly going to be a move that will benefit the island of Ireland.
Well, no, and as a matter of fact, any move to withdraw from the ECHR, from the Convention on Human Rights, would be hugely problematic. I mean, that convention is one of the foundation stones that peace in Ireland has been built on. So, I mean, I really hope we're not walking, as happened with Brexit. If you remember, decisions were made here with no regard for Ireland or for the north of Ireland. So I really hope that we're not going down that road again. But in any event, I think even the suggestion that might happen demonstrates just how problematic it is when Britain has a foothold in Ireland, has a say and a hold on how Ireland is governed. We have to do that ourselves. We're more than capable of it. And we have the mechanism through the Good Friday Agreement for us to agree peacefully, democratically, how we move forward together. And I don't think Keir Starmer or any British government should stand in the way of that. I think that's wrong, actually. Partitioning our country more than a century ago was wrong. It was done down the barrel of British guns against our will. We did not consent to that. We had all of the trouble and suffering and hurt and division that arose after partition. And the peace process is a process by which we fix and we mend and we heal to the best of our ability, all of that. And then we have to say what's best for Ireland. And what's best for Ireland is reunification.
I just want to stick on Keir Starmer for a moment. I know that, over in Ireland, you are pushing for this occupied territories bill. You're talking about limiting trade with occupied settlements. Is that something you'd want to see Starmer also doing?
Yes, I would like to see the world finally call Netanyahu's regime to account, end the impunity that Israel enjoys because they believe that they can do whatever they want. They are openly committing genocide, and the world is watching. Worse than that, the world is enabling this, and worse again, in the case of Britain, the United States, other European governments, they're actually financing and assisting Netanyahu's genocidal effort. That to me is unspeakable. I cannot understand how it is, as a global community, that leaders of very powerful nations can behave in this way, and they need now to be held to account by us, by ordinary, regular people, by activists. I see them on the streets of London and Rome and Sydney, you name it. The people are pleading with their leaders to do the right thing. So I would expect that Keir Starmer would step up to that. I think it's been hugely disappointing, hugely disheartening for everybody, especially for younger people, as they watch the political class. And what they see is absolute hypocrisy. The language of human rights, the language of democracy, but then the practice of genocide. That cannot stand. And I cannot say that more strongly enough. So yes, we want the Occupied Territories Bill to be passed in Ireland to include goods and services. But that's just one piece of the puzzle. There have to be sanctions on Israel. If the world is not prepared to sanction Israel as it openly commits genocide and boasts that it is committing genocide, well then where are we? What next? Why recognise a Palestinian state on the one hand and then enable the massacre of Palestinian women, children and men on the other? How on earth does that add up?
I mean, is he the man to do it, or do you think he could be the man to do it? Because it was just 2 short years ago at this very conference that Keir Starmer said that Israel had the right to cut off water and electricity to the Gaza Strip. So do you think that perhaps he's turned a corner politically? Do you think he would be the man to push for more sanctions?
He had, whoever the man is or the woman, whoever it is, it's not about the who now, it's about the what. To be honest with you, it matters little to the people of Gaza or the West Bank or East Jerusalem who it is, but there have to be interventions now, and the voices of populations right across the globe have to be heard. The people are right. Many of their governments are wrong. The people are right, and they need to be heard. And there are certain moments in human history and human affairs where everybody has to actually make pretty fundamental calls as to which side you stand on. Do you stand on the right side of history? Do you stand on an ethos of dignity and human rights and life, the life of Palestinians? Or do you walk away? Do you look the other way? Or worse than that, do you enable their destruction? A time will come when everybody who's in public life in particular now and in political leadership will be asked, what did you do? What did you say? What stand did you take? And I would urge every colleague, wherever you are elected, whoever you represent, just to remember that. Just to remember that question will be asked of all of us. And let's be on the right side of history. There is still time. Although what has happened has been diabolical, we still have time. And Keir Starmer, I hope that he comes, frankly, to his senses, and that the British political system does the right thing.